So Carolina, they lose game three, and unfortunately, they lose game three. They lose yet another game on the road, and this isn't that bad of a road loss unless you put it into context. Um, so sorry about that. So it really, yeah, when you put everything into perspective, Carolina actually played really well. They were the better team for all three periods. However, Igor shut the door. And Carolina only gave up 2 goals. One of them was a power play. So Carolina, even though they lose 3-1, they really tied the game 5-on-5 in a game where Igor played very, very well. So, I mean, it's one of those losses that's going to happen. But the problem is, it's unacceptable to lose on the road right now for Carolina. You've lost 4 games on the road in a row now while you're winning on home ice. Like, that's just that's the problem. It's just when you put everything into context, losing yet another game on the road is unacceptable. You've lost 4 in a row. You got to win on the road at some point because eventually one of the teams you're playing is going to get a game on home ice. You're not going to win the Stanley Cup going undefeated on home ice. I mean, if you can do that, great. However, it's probably not going to happen. So, and one of the big things I said, and Carolina has cleared up a lot of the other two things. They're getting shots through more, and they're picking up sticks in front of the net. They're wearing down their best players in Adam Fox to the point where Adam Fox has only really been a good player for the Rangers at this point in the series, but they still can't win on the road. But it's not a huge deal because they can still get the split. And if Carolina gets a split, they have 2 games at home, and now they've won. Now they've opened the door to winning on the road. So it's just those things. But again, you've lost 4 in a row on the road still. And at this point, you got to be able to find a way to win games on the road. So, yeah. And, I mean, if you're Brindamore, I don't know what you do because the team played better. But even when you don't have the matchups you want, most ideal in the playoff series, you got to find ways to win if you want to win a Stanley Cup. And I firmly believe, based on the way Carolina has played this series, Carolina can win the Cup this year. It's possible. Do I think they will? Maybe not. There's 8 teams. There's 7 teams left, and Carolina is one of them. But it's like those 7 teams are tight, and Carolina's so young, and they don't have as much experience as, say, even a Connor McDavid. Actually, they have more experience than the Oilers, and the Flames. But I would say Nathan MacKinnon and Gabriel Landeskog are more experienced. Gabriel Landeskog has been a captain for a long time. Darcy Kemper's older than a lot of players. And then you have Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay, and then the Rangers are newer. So yeah, Carolina, they can do something and they can make waves, but they gotta find a way to win on the road. And I get it. They ran into a hot goaltender. I wouldn't be as ranty. I wouldn't say I'm ranting, but I wouldn't be as ranty if Carolina had won a single game on the road against Boston in their playoff series. They would have won it in 5 games. They won game 3 or 4 or in 6. But if they won one of those games, losing this game would not be a big deal. Because, like I said, Carolina, they were the better team, and they ran into a goalie that's nominated for MVP of the season by the journalists, and also is nominated for the Vezina, probably will win the Vezina. So he's a top 3 goalie in the league right now. I'd still say Vasilevsky, best goalie in the world. You win a Conn Smythe after winning the Cup 2 years in a row. You win a Vezina in there. Like, yeah, Vasilevsky, I'd still say best goalie in the world. But Shesterkin's not far behind him. So, like, yeah, they ran into a hot goalie who shut the door, made a couple really good saves, but it's your 4th road game that you've lost. You can't, like, that's the problem. I don't think they have earned me being as frustrated with this team as I was for the game itself, but it's just the context. Because honestly, right now, Carolina's at the point you just got to win on the road. Doesn't matter how you do it. Doesn't matter if you get outplayed all game on the road. You have to win on the road at this point. You have to. So yeah, who would I give Hurricane of the game to? I was thinking Jordan Stahl just because of how crucial and pivotal Jordan Stahl has been. Considering at first I thought he was the most overpaid player on the Hurricanes, despite the fact that I like Jordan Stahl. but he's really not anymore, and I really wanted to give credit because I've given it to his line mates and Jesper Fast and Nino Niederreiter. But looking at the game, I thought Svechnikov had the best game out of any Hurricane this game, so that's who I'm going to give it to. I'm going to give it to Svechnikov again, but it really could have gone Jordan Stahl this game because I thought Jordan Stahl hasn't had a bad game yet in these playoffs. But however, Carolina does lose this game after being the better team, which that does happen. But the good news is the game's starting right now. I got a beer league game tonight, so I got to watch that game way afterward. So you're going to get two Hurricane review videos, but I'm not able to watch the next game live. They got an opportunity to close out, get the split in game 4, and then they're in really good shape. So, yeah, there's this game 4, crucial game for honestly not just this series, but going forward for the rest of the playoffs, because I think Carolina will go forward for the rest of the playoffs. And yeah, see you guys for game 4 later tonight.